Welcome back to another episode of Sports Unlimited. You have my boy Devin over here, wherever the screen is. As you can tell, we have a bit of a different setup today. You know, life happens, so we gotta acclimate, like my Aggies did this weekend. Because oh,
Look, I'm not gonna be like that this week. They did have a blackout, so I thought I'd do this stream. I thought I'd do the stream in the black Aggie shirt. I give them their props today. They showed out. They showed out.
there you go. But we do have a lot to talk about. Obviously, we will be talking about the A&M game. We're going to talk about some more college football. We're even going to be talking about some basketball. And maybe we'll throw some things in. All righty?
Let's
So
get.
let us get started with the first question. Okay, my next question, and I think you're going to agree with me in this one, but is it time to believe in BYU?
They're good, man. They're good. I don't think they're gonna run across anybody in the Big 12 that's gonna challenge them. I definitely see them in the championship. Don't know against who. Of course, it's the Big 12. But I definitely see them in the championship, and yeah, they're coming with it this year, man. They're coming with it.
Yeah, I mean they have Arizona State, who's doing actually fairly well. Actually, I'm sorry, no, they have the Utah, then Kansas State, Arizona, Houston next. That's a fairly easy schedule for them
Yeah,
moving forward.
yeah.
So there's no way that they're not gonna be in the Big 12 championship at this point, unless they flub something up.
Unless they shoot themselves in the foot, that's the only way they don't make it.
But even they're a one loss team, they're still gonna make it. I mean, they can in theory lose against Utah and win out after that and still make the
Yeah,
championship.
yeah,
So,
easy, easy, dude. They've been playing some ball this year. They've been playing some ball. BYU's not a team you really talk about as much, but this year you gotta give them their flowers.
yeah, no, I am so impressed with BYU and everything that they're doing. I mean, they're running the ball great. They're passing the ball great. Honestly, I don't see a team in the Big 12 that's better than them right now.
No, no.
I mean, total offensive yards, they're beating their opponents 3,280 to 2,600 yards. Like that's a huge difference in
I mean,
total yards.
don't get me wrong. I would love to see them in Colorado play.
I mean, technically it is plausible for Colorado to play in the Big 12.
I think that would be the best matchup for a Big 12 championship. Is Colorado and BYU.
I mean, right now that probably I would have to agree with you because I don't see anyone else being well.
No, I mean K State's playing ball, but I honestly think Colorado should have beat them. I think Colorado should have beat them, and Kansas State wouldn't even been in this talk right now if Colorado beats them.
Well, if you're looking at you see, I agree with you. But right now, if you're looking at the Big 12 stats, BYU is 5-0 in conference. Iowa State is 4-0 in conference. Everyone else has a minimum of one loss.
Yeah,
So in theory, it's probably going to end up BYU and Iowa State, and I would give it to BYU in this situation. But to say that I would much rather see BYU against Colorado, it would be a much better matchup for TV.
Game.
Yeah, and plus, I would love to see Deion Sanders lose to BYU, and it would be like,
I don't think he would.
How do we lose?
I don't think he would, man.
I think he would. I think he would lose to BYU.
I think they're showing people. They're showing people this year, bro.
I mean, it is what it is, but I gotta say, we'll have to wait and see. But
yeah,
let's believe in BYU, everybody. Alrighty. So if you're a Mormon, yeah, it's for Mormons. So there you go. Learn something new every day. But let's go on to the next one. Take it out.
All right, we got the third question, which it kind of hurts me a little bit to ask, but is Quinn Ewers scared of the SEC?
The answer is no, but yes.
I'm a diehard Longhorn fan, but man, it's tough. Like for him, I just don't see that same Quinn Ewers from the beginning of the season. Like when the season first started, Quinn Ewers was a dog.
Yeah,
he got hurt. Arch came in, showed out, but ever since then, we haven't seen that same Quinn Ewers. I don't know if it is SEC play, which is, we both know has always been the best.
Yep.
Or is he just, is he, I don't know what it is. Like, is he timid? Is he used to not playing teams like this? Which, of course, he's not. But, I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there in the SEC now. It's time to step your game up. So, in my opinion, I feel like he's scared. And, I mean, there's a couple games left. You got to get it together.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that he's scared. I think after his injury, he's worried because he is projected to be a top pick in the draft this year. No, once it's all said and done with, but I also think he wasn't. He came in Texas came in really hot, and the fact that Manning played so well was interesting to see. Because at the end of the day, you have to give Manning the credit that he had. He played
absolutely.
But when you're looking at the way he was playing last year to compare to this year, last year he had all year about a 70.2% completion percentage. He had 3,000 yards. This year, when you're looking at it, I believe he only has like 1,300 yards, which is a huge downfall from this year. But I think the difference is that in the Big 12, you can throw the ball 50, 60 times because corners aren't there. You don't have a shutdown corner in the Big 12.
But if he's worried, man, it's time to. If he's worried about his stock or whatever, Like it's time to get out the way. Like move. If you're already looking at the NFL, don't drag the team down. I mean, he's not dragging them down, but you know don't play your full potential if you don't want to. Like get
Yeah.
out the way. We got somebody back there. We got somebody back there. But like if you're gonna be there, give that team your 100% every game. Because right now Texas is looking sluggish. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
don't
So
think it's all on Ewers. Like I'm sorry, but the game against Vanderbilt, although you guys won, you guys got you that offensive line was allowing too many pressures on Ewers, and Ewers, statistically speaking, cannot handle the rush. And that is, I think, one of the biggest concerns that I've seen in him in the SEC is
yeah,
the rush is not the he's not at best with the rush. I mean, that's how Alabama kept y'all down with both Ewers um and Manning. I
yeah.
think I think
But
he
I
had
mean,
like
it's just
50, 60 pressures that day.
if you gonna play on a team like Texas in the SEC, you got to bring it game in game out. It don't like what I mean. It's no excuses. Like you got to bring it. We were up 21 to what 7 at halftime. I think
Something like that.
like that. Like at that point, you put your foot on their neck and keep going. Like they fought back. They almost won. Vanderbilt almost came back and won that game. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you get a lead like that, you got to keep it going. You can't slack off. And I think that's one of Texas' biggest things is when they get leads and stuff, they like to play secure ball. But it's just like, bro, you're giving up a lot of points to teams you shouldn't.
Yeah. And I think the other problem is that he one weakness that I've seen from Sarkisian, which we you see at Alabama, is that he was never good at, and even in his time at USC, for when he faces good teams, he wasn't. There was always the struggle of you may lose, and you would think that he would learn that out of himself, especially under Nick Saban, because Nick Saban was never like that. But you see it now with Texas, and I think we didn't even see it while they were in the Big 12 because they were such a powerhouse in the Big 12. When you move into the SEC, now things change because and nothing against Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt has always been the stepping stone, no, the doormat of the SEC. And now
Yeah,
you see how powerful even are. I mean, if Vanderbilt was in the Big 12,
they would probably run it.
they would
They would,
run it.
yeah,
So you see, it's just one of those things where I don't think Ewers is scared of the SEC, but it was a 100% complete. Hey, this is whole different situation.
yeah.
I need to. I don't have time to get accustomed to it because otherwise, I'm already going to the NFL next year.
Get out the way, man. Get out the way.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, but it is gonna be interesting to see how it turns out when they play Texas on the 30th.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, especially if they lose one more game. No, which of course, statistically speaking, I doubt you guys are gonna do that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I think I think it's a 2 week matchup for A&M and Texas, but we'll see. We'll see. Anything can happen at any time, so we'll see.
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But let's go on to the next one. All right, so I'm gonna preface this question by simply stating, no, we do not promote people getting hurt here. We don't want anyone getting hurt here, even if we think they deserve it. But but I am kind of happy that Watson got hurt, which leads no, because look what they did. They beat the Ravens.
They beat a good Ravens team.
They beat a really good Ravens team. So that leads me to my question: are the Browns better without Deshaun Watson?
I think we gotta. I think the Browns got to win a couple more games before we can say that. They won one. Don't get me wrong. Jameis Winston went 27 to 41 with 334 and 3 TDs, no interceptions. But but man, Jameis Winston's post game interviews kill me, bro. Like
Yeah,
he speaks like a pastor. But for him, that's a good game. To step in there after Watson goes down and lead the Browns to a win that they highly needed. He's got like Watson had the weapons. Now Jameis has the weapons. So yeah, they definitely look better this past Sunday. But I think we got to give them a couple more games before we can actually say that they're better without him.
Uh, I completely disagree. I think the fact that the Ravens just smoked them out is a. I mean, I'm sorry. The fact that history speaking, the Ravens have owned the Browns every single time.
Yeah.
No, the last ever since I'm sorry, not Deshaun Watson, but Lamar, Lamar Jackson has been in the league. He's owned the Browns.
I
No,
think it has.
it's like fantasy wise, you always play Lamar against the Browns, just like you always play Mahomes against the Raiders or Dak Prescott against the Giants or the Commanders.
Can you
It's
that man's name?
it's the way it is. They own those teams, but the fact that they went out there this week and not only played out but showed out. I mean, look at his stats. Watson's stats. Just let's use another good team like the Eagles. Alrighty, who again they lost to them by 4 points, so 20-16. Same close matchup, 29-24. But against the Eagles, who have a much lesser defense than that of the Ravens, Watson only had 168 yards. Winston, on the other hand, against the Ravens, who have arguably a top two defense, he had 334 passing yards. That not only shows that
he played a good game, man.
Yeah, but they're giving him the time to to throw the ball. They're giving him time to think about what he's done. I didn't see Jameis Winston really under. I'm not gonna say under pressure, but he had more time than I've seen Watson get.
Right.
And
when we first started, I told you I was like, Watson has he has the players. Like his receiving group is crazy. It's just about how he would use them, and he didn't use them the way they were supposed to, and Jameis Winston showed that. You know what I mean? It's just like he had the weapons, bro. Like the receivers over there are great. They've always been great. It's just utilize them, and I feel like Watson was all about himself. I told you that before. I felt like he was all about himself. They gave that man way too much money for him to be worried about, winning the game.
yeah,
I don't think he had any stipulations. It's like, here you go. Like, stick with us. We suck, but here go this money for you, which sucked for the team because anybody in the NFL wants to go to a team and win, and I feel like this year he wasn't giving his team his all.
no, I think I completely agree with that, and I think with Nick Chubb back in the lineup, healthier
So
than he
yeah,
was from the first game, um, I think that also helped. But I feel like this Brown team is much different than the one we've seen with Deshaun. I'm sorry, yeah, with Deshaun Watson. Then not. And before I say this, like Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston are both equally same level quarterbacks, but to me, it seems like with Winston, the team is more behind them than they were with Watson. And it's obvious because of how well he played, how well he was able to, get to those receivers. And I think more importantly, that offensive line, like you can see the difference. Like there
yeah,
was an obvious difference.
yeah. Well, the Browns got the Chargers next, the Saints, and the Steelers. The way they played Sunday, I got a feeling that's. That's a good 3 wins for them that they need. Um, but we'll just have to see how it all plays out. Honestly,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see.
yeah, we'll definitely have to see.
Yeah, but for sure the Browns are not gonna make the playoffs this year. That's a guarantee.
Hey, we don't know what could happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've seen weirder things. But
Right?
let's go on to the next one. All right, man.
Cowboy Nation. Hershey, I know this hurts your heart a little bit. I know this hurts your heart a little bit. Are the Cowboys in trouble? I've asked this before. I think 2 weeks ago, and I think we're gonna get the same answer. Same answer, brother.
No, the simple answer is we've been in trouble. We were in trouble in the preseason, and I said this on the show. I said this on the show before you came on as a host. I did the show by myself, and I said when I talked about my preseason record, I said the only reason the Cowboys would make the playoffs and have a chance of winning the NFC East was because pretty much the same team stayed together, and it's the same team that's won 10 plus games the last 2 seasons. So in theory, they should be no, they're gonna win. But I betted my money on them having a crappy season, and that's what they're doing. Okay, now
I'm looking at these stats right now, and 243 yards, 2 TDs, and 2 interceptions. I'm not even going to talk about their rushing game. That's pitiful. I don't even think they had 100 yards rushing.
no
total
in the game.
What was their total?
Hold on, let me pull it up. I think they did have 100. They barely scraped into 100 rushing yards. Like they had like 101 maybe. No, okay, no, I lied. 56. 56. You're right.
That is preposterous, bro. That is bad. And only one receiver showed out with CD, which, I mean, he does that every game. You know, he deserves it. His frustrations that he takes out are definitely, yeah, for sure. So 13 receptions for 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yes, absolutely yes. 3 receptions for 44 yards, 6 receptions for 23, 1 for 16, 1 for 10, 1 for 4. You're not going to win games like that. You're also not going to win games with less than 100 rushing yards. Like, y'all brought back Zeke just for him to finish off as a Cowboy, because that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
10 receptions for 34 yards, averaging 3.4 yards a carry. That's pitiful. Nobody averaged over 10 yards besides Turpin, and that was probably on a reverse for 1 carry for 11 yards. Bro, you're not going to win games like that. You're not going to win games like that at all. And to give up 21 points right after halftime? Yeah, that's tough.
No, I agree. But that's what I'm saying is like, my question here is, fine, you don't want to fire Mike McCarthy. Okay, fine. You want to give him another chance? Fine. He has won you 10 plus games the last few seasons. I get it. What in the freaking world are you doing when you don't have any rushing game? You don't have you have a very young offensive line, and you don't have a wide receiver too.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, you want to come to Dallas? Hey, freak.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
Browns. I'll give you a 4th round pick for Amari Cooper. Hey, Bills, you said you wanted Diggs out. Hey, look, his brother's with us. We'll take Diggs off of you for a 3rd. You know what? I'll be nice. I'll make it a conditional 3rd. If he plays 90% of the snaps, fuck, you get a 2nd.
Bro, if I woke up one night and my agent told me, "Hey, you've been traded to the Cowboys," I'd probably retire.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I still think they're a good team, but I mean, which one would rather go, the Browns or the Cowboys?
At this point, I'm going to the Browns.
Oh, bull! I call bull. You are not going to.
It's a shit show in Dallas right now. They don't know what they're doing.
And you think the Browns do?
Bro, as long as you got Jerry Jones running the show, the Cowboys will always be the Cowboys.
I'm not denying that, but I'm also saying that I've said they were in trouble since the beginning of the season, and I have friends of mine that are now texting me, "Oh man, you were right," and they're the same people that are telling me, "Hey, you know what? Let's have some hope."
No,
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 look, I've been a Cowboys fan since I was born. My first memory is watching the 1992 Super Bowl. All right, and the Cowboys winning, and I was in Mexico. I was a little baby with my grandfather watching the game. I've been a fan ever since. All righty, and I'm 32 now.
That's
But
tough, brother. That's tough, man.
but even then, like I tell everybody, just because I'm a fan, I'm also not a delusionalist.
Right.
I see it for what it is. I see it for
Yeah.
what it is.
A
And
lot
if
of a lot of fans still have hope.
I didn't have hope at the beginning of the season. I said the only reason why they would win the division, the NFC East, I'm sorry, is because I don't trust the Eagles. The Commanders have a rookie running quarterback and and a new head coach,
Yeah.
and then well, no one trusts the Giants.
The Giants
Now,
are.
I still don't trust the Eagles because they almost lost to the Browns, and Steve Sarkisian is a mess. The only thing that's proven right now, I was proven wrong in, is the fact that Jaden Daniels is playing lights out. That Commanders team
Yeah.
is arguably the best team in the NFC East and will make the playoffs this year.
Oh yeah.
I would not be surprised if they win the division.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you. I agree with you.
And I can tell you this right now. I said that they would make the playoffs at the beginning of the season. The Cowboys, they're not making the playoffs this year. They're not making the playoffs. And you know what? Thank God.
Sure.
Because Ashton Jeffrey, after you get your Heisman Trophy, Jerry Jones is going to be calling because we need a good running back.
Dude, he might hold out.
We'll see. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this was supposed to be for last week, but we got caught up in live, so we're going to put it back in this week. And I think I know how you feel about it because we've talked about this. And I'm going to start off simply by telling you the question. So, is Kirby Smart right? Was there a precedent set at the game after the fans threw stuff on the field and got the PI call reserved? Now, before I get your answer, I will put this out that I do agree with you. It was not a PI call.
Absolutely not.
I completely agree with that.
As a former cornerback, no, bro. No.
Go ahead. Tell me
it was a bad throw. The receiver didn't see it, and all the cornerback did was back up. The receiver had his hands on the cornerback, and the cornerback just happened to see the ball and take off running. So no way in any shape, form, or fashion was that pass interference on the defense. On the offense, it should have been absolutely. But to throw that on the defense like that in a huge game at a crucial moment like that was tough. That was tough. Now for the fans throwing trash on the field, I just don't know what to say about it. I mean, I would have been upset too if I was at the game. But I don't think they tried to rob Georgia out of the game with flags and stuff like that. I think it was repped very well. Besides that one call in a crucial moment of the game, that's just my opinion. So for him to come out and say, yeah, they tried to rob us for this and this and this, it was like, no, bro. Deep down inside, yes, Georgia won. Georgia played an absolute great game, but don't come out and be like, oh yeah, they tried to rob us this and this and this. No. If we're gonna have a great game, let's make it a fair game.
Yeah,
and I think that's what the referees came back together and tried to do.
Yeah, I agree with you in the fact that it was not a PI call. I don't think I would have put it on the offense either, but that's still 50-50 for me. I disagree in the fact. Oh, and I agree with you in the fact that yes, no, Georgia wasn't trying to get robbed. Okay, I agree with that part as well. I don't agree with you when you said their refereeing was done great. I do not agree. I think this is arguably one of the worst games of referee that I've seen in the SEC since we started in 2012, because in both sides. Now, yes, I'm an Aggie. Everyone knows that, but I'm also not gonna. I'm gonna call it the way it is. And there were bad calls on both sides, or things that were not called on both sides that I saw. No, there were some times where Texas was offsides, obviously offsides, didn't get called. Same thing with Georgia. A lot of their offensive linemen were moving way too early, and it wasn't just like, oh, they got off the call early. No, it was obvious that they were off of the ball very early. And then on top of that, I saw some holding in there, and fine, let them play. But there's a difference between letting them play and obvious calls that they were not called.
Yeah.
On top of that, the my my concern is that I do agree with Kirby Smarts in that fact that there was a precedent set, because had they not given the refs that little time to think, you know, they would have not reversed the call. And I
But
think that's
I
more
don't
to
think
put
it's
on the
wrong.
refs than on the actual teams.
Yeah. I don't think the way he said it, I don't think Texas tried to rob them out of calls. Texas ain't got shit to do with that.
Yeah,
Like go at the refs, but I understand you don't go at the refs. You know what I mean? But it's just
yeah.
like no, say the refs tried to rob us out of the game. Don't say Texas did because Texas had that one influence on that one call. I'm gonna say they did,
And
but
I
it just
think when he was saying Texas, he was more talking about the students that threw the ball, threw the trash on the field,
right.
because it happened again. I think it was in the Ohio State game the next week. Fans threw the after a bad
Yeah,
call, fans
yeah,
threw, but obviously it was that one was a lot easier to see that it wasn't a call, and the refs were already trying to huddle back up, but they couldn't do it as fast because people started throwing things on the field.
yeah.
Now, I I do give it up for Sarkeesian, who did come out the next no that week and said, "Hey, to the fans, that's not okay."
Yeah.
But I think to me, Texas, and I'm only talking about its fans, as someone that's lived that rivalry for so long, Texas has a their students have a big time change. You don't run the SEC. The NCC runs you. And if the
Yeah.
rules state don't do something dumb like that, don't do it. Just be classy. LSU fans don't even do that, and they're the craziest son of a guns I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, you know Texas sitting over there just oh that fine didn't bother them. Soon
I
as they,
know they didn't. I know they
soon as they
didn't.
said soon as they said how much it was, it was like they probably laughed and be like, here, take it.
Now, of course, Matthew McConaughey probably came out and signed the check, said, "Here you go, I'm
He's
done."
like he's
Bye.
like go look at my bottom drawer of my desk.
Yeah, but it really does show, and I'm gonna get flagged for this, and that's fine. You know what? I have no problem saying it, but it really shows that Texas football is ready for the SEC. They were
Oh, absolutely.
classy. They were great. They played great. Unfortunately, they lost, and it is what it is.
Yeah. That
Texas
half just killed Texas. That first half killed them, man.
Texas fans are not ready for the SEC. You
Yeah, you gotta bring it. You gotta bring it, bro.
you can bring it, but you gotta be respectful, man. Even LSU fans are respectful. And again, those are the same fans that were trying to kill you because LSU lost.
Well, we'll just yeah. As as a Texas fan in the SEC, we'll just have to see how the years play out.
You have to wait and see. And I'm actually excited to see how more of this plays out. But I do think that a precedent was set, and it's not a good thing. And I do think that we really need to go back and look at the way the refereeing was held for that game and see what needs to be done to fix. I think the referee was the only major problem in that game outside of Texas just shooting themselves in the foot.
I agree.
But let's go on to the next one. Alrighty, go ahead.
All right, next question. We talked about this when it first happened, but apparently, our opinion is just say so. But Tua came back this week. Do you think
Yep.
it was a decision?
Honestly, I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world.
I mean,
Right.
he definitely protected himself a little more. Scrambling and stuff. He's starting to slide and stuff like that. Which I saw a different Tua. But it's just like how long is that mentality gonna last for him? Like, oh shit, I'm running, the goal line's right there. I need that 1 yard, but shit, here come somebody. Like, do I dive? Do I take this hit and try to get the touchdown? Or it's like how long is that mentality of him sliding gonna last?
Yeah.
And and when he does get hit, it's just every time he gets hit, it's a cringe. It's like, damn, is he gonna get up? Did it happen again? It's like, man, just I just don't think he was full. Like, come back later in the season, but I still think it was way too soon. But I mean, a grown man, he can make his own decisions. Like you said, it's a
Yeah.
personal decision of what he wants to do. But as a guy who definitely respects him, like, man, it's hard to see him come back this early.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. That I did think it was a dumb decision to come back. If anything, early, too
Yeah,
soon. Um, so I did read up on a lot of the stuff after I saw this question from you, and a lot of the neurologists that he saw all said, "Hey, if you give your brain enough time to heal, yeah, you're fine." And it's true. Uh, I read a lot of. I've been reading a lot of neurological studies and testing and things like that. And our brains are magnificent things. You can live without half your brain and be fine. It's quite possible to do that. Sure, you lose certain things, but in general, you could survive and live a happy, healthy life with half a brain. But into a situation, it's not about how healthy your brain is when you come back. It's like you said, your mentality you coming back.
yeah.
That's something that you have to teach yourself. And he had a couple of times, especially when he got sacked, that I was just like watching, like, oh, like,
Yeah,
is he gonna
like
get up? Like, where's his hands? Like, what are they doing?
there's
And
gonna be situations where offensive line miss a block, he don't see it coming, boom, and it's just like, bro, that like it's just scary. Like, it's just there's got to be so many doctors and people watching the game, watching out for him every game, and it's just like damn, bro, like if it happens again, like what's gonna happen then? You're gonna let him
exactly.
sit a couple weeks, then it's gonna be his decision to come back. It's like it cannot keep happening, bro. It's gonna get long term and it's gonna suck.
And you have to look at the schedule. The schedule is the Bills, the Browns, the Raiders. So right now you have Von Miller going after you. You got the Rams, you have a very good pass rush coming after you. Raiders, you have arguably who should be the defensive player of the year, Max Crosby,
Yeah,
uh, but he's not going to get it. And then you got the Patriots, who again are also doing very well in the pass rush. Then you got the Packers, the Jets, fine, they get a freebie there. But then you got the Texans with a great pass rush, the 49ers with Nick Bosa, the Browns with Myles Garrett, and then again against the Jets, another quick freebie at the end of the year. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pass rushers, three of which are arguably in the conversation or have been in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year that are coming after you.
yeah, it's tough, bro.
And
It's
that's
tough.
that's tough. I mean, I personally, if you want to come back, fuck, it's 4 weeks on IR. Stay 8 weeks. You weren't gonna win. You weren't gonna go to the playoffs no matter what. You
Yeah,
know,
let yourself heal.
let yourself ill. Hell, you knew you weren't gonna make the playoffs unless you won out, which you were not based on your schedule. Just stay out the whole season. If you make the
Yeah,
playoffs, come back for the playoffs.
I agree. I agree.
But Tua, I hope everything well for you, but we'll see what happens. We'll have to wait and see. We're really well.
Yes, sir.
Let's go on to the next one. So I actually think this is going to be one of the most interesting questions we have today. But how do you feel about Anthony Richardson's comments for his reasons about subbing out midway through the third quarter? Now, for those that didn't hear, his comment was, and I quote, "Tired. I ain't gonna lie." No, he said no. He said after the game to the Athletic, there was a lot of running right there that I did, and I didn't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just told Steichen I needed a break right there. Obviously, Pat McAfee didn't like that, didn't see it. Everybody's seen his Twitter post, but how do you feel?
I mean, bro, you're in the NFL. Everybody's tired. You're the quarterback. Take a small break, but don't take yourself out the game. I feel like his time in Indy is done. He can
Yeah,
hang it up, and that sucks to say because the dude's good. The dude's good, and it's just like why throw it all away because you're tired. Take a break. You tap. Say you're tired. Get some water. Come back in. But don't come out and say I was tired. I did too much running. Bro, you're the quarterback. That's what happens. You're the captain of the team. If it takes you to run, you're gonna have to run. But yeah, I think his time in Indy is done. Hopefully somebody pick him up, trade deadline, off season, anything. But yeah, that's crazy. If you're tired, bro, you need to go get some conditioning and wait till next season because you unless Flacco gets hurt, you'll go back in. But your season's done.
I
Season.
completely agree. I don't. I mean, I understand you're tired, and I get that, you know, but they spent a fourth round pick on you. That's like buying a Bugatti, a 2024 Bugatti, and then choosing to drive the 1996 Corolla.
Yeah,
You know,
that it's tough, bro. Like you just don't come out and say that. It'll get you
no,
some. Call a timeout. Call a timeout. Play hurt. Just any little time to let you catch your breath or anything like that, bro. Don't just come out and say, "Oh, I was tired." Like you don't do that. You're in the NFL, bro.
yeah. If honestly, if you told your head coach, hey, I need just a little breather, like something's going on, like I'm not feeling right, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, cool. The coach will call a timeout. He'll be like, hey, you know what? That's fine. Here's a running play,
yeah,
or something like something simple. But to me, that shows a lot of immaturity that he needs to grow. Because you're right, he's very talented. He's very smart when it comes to football. But this, I think Joe Flacco is going to need to sit down with him and tell him, hey, this is how we do it in the NFL.
yeah. I agree.
Because I mean, that's sad. That's
Yeah,
sad.
I agree.
But I also agree with you. I think his time in Indy is coming to a close. I think they're not going to pick up his fifth year option. I think it's in 2 years from now.
Yeah,
Um,
no, he's done,
so
bro. He's
he's
done.
done. Yeah, he's done. But we'll see what happens. Let's go and look at the next one.
Hey. Let's talk about those Commanders for a while. Are they for real? And are they a team we should look out for to make a run in the playoffs?
So,
Yes, yes, yes. They've got the rookie of the year. There's no doubt about it.
oh,
They
that's
got
true. Yes. So
dude. They're playing better ball than they have in a very long time.
yeah, I'm gonna say this. Are they playing better ball than I've ever seen them play? One
Yes,
hundred percent. Do they have the rookie of the year? One
yes.
hundred percent. Do they have the head coach of the year? 100%. Maybe Dan Campbell could win it because everything he's doing with the Lions again, but Dan Quinn is surely winning that as well. Do they have a great offense, great defense, great special teams? All correct.
Yeah,
But again, but I do not see them being a threat in the playoffs. I do
I do.
not see them doing much. And only reason I say this is because it's the same thing you see every single year.
You sound like a Cowboys fan.
Hey, that's okay. The only reason I say this is because he's still a rookie. Playoffs are about experience. That's why Tom Brady kept going because even when he didn't have a good enough team, he had the experience of being in the playoffs. Jaden Daniels does not have that.
But bro, if you got the heart and the grit, I don't think it matters, and I think he does. I think he
I
does.
mean, I think he does. I do agree, but I don't think he's gonna be anything in the playoffs. But
We'll honestly have to see how the playoff picture plays out
that too.
because there are some teams that I don't think can stop it.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. I mean, it does
Yeah,
it does have a lot to do with that. Now, I will add this though. Like I said earlier, the Commanders more than likely will win the NFC East.
yeah,
No, I don't see them, and I'm looking at their schedule. Uh They still got to play New York this week, which they should easily win that one. Then they play Pittsburgh, should be a little bit harder, but I think they can win that one. Then you got Philly and Dallas back to back at Philly, and then uh, Dallas comes to Washington, which again, both Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott have owned the Commanders since they've been in the league. So it's gonna be a question about, it could be a different story. But of course, statistically speaking, that's what it's always been.
Yeah.
After that, it's just Tennessee and New Orleans, which again, they should easily smoke them. And then you got Philadelphia come home, and Atlanta comes there, and then you finish with Dallas, which again, the question lies is it going to be in Philly and Dallas? Is it going to be the same question as before of, are they going to own you, or is it going to be a different story? As long as they beat Dallas, Philly and Dallas at least once, they already beat New York once. They just need to beat those two teams once and then let them fight it out towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And they're good. So I think they're the real deal. I am so excited to see this Commanders moving forward, but it's going to be a question on how they're going to do things.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's go on to the next question. Alrighty, so we're going to move away from football to talk about this new thing. You might have heard of it. It's called basketball. You know that big round orange ball that I try to pretend that I can shoot, but I can't. I'm the definition of white man can't jump, and I'm not even white. So the question lies here is, it has started. NBA has started. I think it's a lot of great things are happening, but who do you have winning the title this year?
King James, the Los Angeles Lakers. At 39 years old, this man is playing better than everybody in the league. I don't care what nobody say. He dropped, I think it was 30 something the other night. A 40-year-old man should not be doing that. He's doing it, bro. And the Lakers are playing some ball. JJ Redick has brought a dynamic to this team that they haven't seen in a while.
Yeah,
it's great. They look real good out there. They actually look like a basketball team that knows what they're doing, and they're led by the best. So I'm a diehard LeBron fan. Any team he goes to, I'm a root for him. Whether he goes to the Pelicans, the 76ers, anybody, like they're gonna be my team to win it. But right now, it's the Lakers, bro. It's the Lakers. I just don't see nobody playing ball as good as them right now. I know the season just started, but the Lakers are playing some ball right now.
So to me, I both agree and disagree with you. I'm a Spurs fan. I'm from San Antonio. No, been there with the greats. We had some great seasons. But I think, to me, Dallas has the best chance of beating everybody right now.
They got a team. I like that they added Clay this year, which I
think with Clay was one of the few things that they were missing. I mean, they're playing great, and for you, I mean, LeBron had when did they play? The 28th. He had 11 points.
What was that? Was that preseason?
Huh?
Was that preseason?
No, that was the recent games. When did they play?
Who?
The 20th. So they played the Phoenix. He had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 steal.
What game was that?
Phoenix.
Was that the recent one?
Yeah.
He only had 11?
But
that was the Kings when he showed out. I got you.
The thing is, though, is that I agree with you in the sense that he's playing great. But that's what I've seen from LeBron, is that when he plays great, his team suffers. Because then they can, as long as they can block him or they can just destroy him, everybody else can do it. And Anthony Davis has proven that although he can be good, if LeBron is even somewhat blocked, he doesn't do as well. So I think for me, Anthony Davis and LeBron James can win the title. I completely agree with you. But it's like going back to 2013 when 2013, I'm sorry, 2014 when they played the Spurs. LeBron James, when he came back after that 2013 season, he was playing freaking lights out with the Heat. Lights out. He was playing amazing. But then Dwayne Wade couldn't hack it with him. No, and what's his name? The Bird couldn't hack it with LeBron James. And what happened? They got to the playoffs against the Spurs, and the Spurs swept them in 5. So it's kind of like, I agree with you. I think they can get there, but will they? That's a question.
No, man. We'll just have to see right now. Anthony Davis is averaging 32.8 in 4 games.
Again, but Anthony Davis has proven that he can keep that kind of experience. Like, unlike Doncic, you got Luka Doncic, Doncic, whatever, Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson all playing about 30 minutes per game, and they're both all averaging about 17 points a game, which really the thing that they were missing last year against the Celtics was that 3-point shooting. And I think with Klay Thompson, that's going to level itself out. I wouldn't doubt it if, let me see. I wouldn't doubt it if we have a Western Conference championship with the Lakers against the Mavericks that takes them to 7. And then whoever wins in the West will win the title.
Yeah, the West. I mean, there's quite a few teams in the West that are tough, but the West is tough in general. Like, if you go over to that side, you got to be ready to play some ball because it is tough, man. It's tough.
I will tell you this right now. It's more than likely for the East, it's going to be the Cavs and the Celtics in the East. And then Lakers and Mavericks in the West. No, you're good. And then it's gonna end up being against the whoever Mavericks or Lakers.
Yeah, Celtics definitely coming out of the other side. They're good.
Yeah, and the Celtics aren't gonna have enough to beat them, to beat either team.
Yeah. I agree with you.
But all right, that's our pick for now. We're gonna have to wait and see. But that's actually all the time that we have today, guys. I do, as always, appreciate you guys. We talked about a lot of things. It's going to be an interesting football season for sure for whoever team you're choosing, unless you're the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Basketball-wise, I mean, I think we're going to have to wait and see how it goes. It's too early in the season to make any type of guess. And actually, I'm excited to talk to you about basketball this season. I think it's going to be a fun one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love basketball, man.
Yeah. But as always, guys, please comment, rate, leave a review. Let us know what you're thinking about the show. Like Devin said, the more you comment, the more you interact, the more better stuff we can bring you.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
But as always, guys, thank you so much for showing up, listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Sir. See you guys.
Bye-bye.